Batten down the hatches on the farm today, folks. It's one of those days. We have had over 6 inches of rain this week. I think we've had 10 or 12 inches for the month. We are just swimming, literally swimming in water. I've got roads washed out. Central Minnesota, northern Minnesota, man, we're in floodland. But we're going to batten down again because tonight they're talking 30 to 50 mile an hour straight line winds, possible hail. Well, we can never defeat the hail, but at least with the winds, we can try to help some of our new seedlings. So here you're looking at the ladies about, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago, almost 3 now, when they were planting squash up in the silo. And this silo faces directly to the west right now. I can't risk it. So back to the shop I went. You know those old banners and tarps that you use for promos and functions? I happen to have an old one from a heartworm, thing that we did a while back, a promo. And I just took a hole punch. I split the banner in half. I took a hole punch and started punching some holes in the ends and in the middles. And I'm just going to go out there and put it up as a barrier and see if I can deflect some of the wind and save some of the plants. When you get into some of the squash, the watermelon are pretty hardy. The acorn are pretty hardy, and the watermelon's out there. The acorn's in another garden. You get some of the pumpkins. They're pretty tough. As long as you don't take that direct hail, they do okay. But gosh, some of the squash, like the delicata squash, are delicate. Their stem bases, they kind of harden and dry up, and you need some zip ties and some fabric or something to protect them from the wind, or they'll just get ripped right out of the ground. I've literally seen them tousled like a tumbleweed. There's no sense going through all this work and letting it happen. So when they hit us with, a 70 to 80% chance of rain tonight, and they're hitting us with these kind of warnings, especially out of the west for us, you might as well put your best foot forward. And this is how you recycle an old banner. So here I'm up at the site. Now this is today. You can see the plants have kind of taken hold and growing, but there's that west wind slot that's just going to come blowing right through here and just take everything out. I don't want that to happen, so we're going to take some banner and we're going to give them about a 1 foot tall, windbreak. I don't want enough windbreak that they can't get sun, and when the plants get really big, I'll probably take it out just so they can crawl off the silo. Once they're crawling off the silo, the wind can't lift them much, and they hang in there. But again, I just punch a bunch of holes, and an old, basically banner. These things are like a nylon plastic. They've got some grommets in the corners. They work absolutely fine for this. Now I know a lot of people have been like, throw this thing away. Well, I was actually even using it for a paint tarp at times. That's why you see all this red stuff on it. They work great sometimes on the farm for it. So again, instead of making waste and garbage, I try to recycle and use what I can. And this will work because as you can see, these plants, I got a stake or two in them, but they're a little wiggly. They're starting to get tall. They bounce around a little. You hit these things with a 25, 30 mile an hour wind with driving rain, they're going to have enough to hold on, but it's going to be tough. You hit them with 40 or 50 mile an hour winds, they're gone. So putting this up is just a safety net. It's not going to block enough sun that they can't get sunlight. It's just a good way of trying to save the plants. I left a little space between them so the wind can get around it, because if you don't, there's no ventilation in these things. They'll blow over themselves and end up on your plants. But this is just a way I'm just going to kind of protect them with this storm coming in, kind of batten down the hatches and get through it, because as you saw at the beginning of the video, we've had plenty of rain. The soil's loose. Plants can get uprooted. Might as well put your best foot forward. So that's what I did this morning. This literally only took me maybe 20 minutes. I've got a little bit of reassurance that I'm recycling a bit and trying to make it better for the plants for the oncoming wind. So here we are, batten down the hatches for a west wind. I appreciate you guys following and liking. Real simple video today, but again, trying to save the plants before the storms come.